welcome to the latest installment of My Dad Listens to This. But why does he listen to this? I'm Juliet, the daughter.
That must make me Kevin, the dad.
And today, oh, Dad.
What album have you picked for us, Juliet, that you cannot wait to talk about?
Alright, today I picked the best of Elvis Costello, the first 10 years. And I'm just going to ask you, Dad, why the hell do you have this CD? Just why?
Because I like the songs.
I thought you didn't like the
It just comes
guy.
down to that. I like the songs.
All right, well let's get this episode going.
Okay, I'm
There's
gonna.
some history about this guy.
But first, I'm gonna start off with two quotations from two different people.
Oh no.
The first one is from Elvis himself, revenging.
Costello, not Presley. Just in case there's somebody out there who doesn't know that there's two of them. Yes, there's two.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Revenge and guilt. Those are the only two emotions I know about.
Oh shit. What's the second one?
From David Lee Roth.
Oh.
The reason the critics all like Elvis Costello better than me is because they all look like Elvis Costello.
All right. You go, David Lee Roth. Okay, Dad, let's do this.
Okay, so a little background. Declan Patrick Aloysius McManus, OBE, was born in 1950.
No.
Yep.
Why, Your Majesty? Why?
That clunk sound you just heard was my daughter smacking her forehead against the table.
This is the decline of the British Empire, folks, not Brexit, this.
Was born in 1954, the son of British bandleader Ross McManus. He worked as a computer programmer during the early 70s, performing under the name D.P. Costello in various folk clubs. In 1976, he became the leader of country rock group Flip City. During this time, he recorded several demo tapes of his original material with the intention of landing a record contract. A copy of these tapes made its way to Jake Riviera, one of the heads of the fledgling independent label Stiff. Riviera signed Costello to Stiff as a solo artist in 1977. The singer-songwriter adopted the name Elvis Costello at this time, taking his first name from Elvis Presley and his last name from his mother's maiden name.
Oh, okay.
This was Riviera's idea, and McManus thought he was out of his mind.
I mean, yeah.
His first album was My Aim Is True, which was released in the summer of '77 in England and released a year later in the U.S. Produced by Nick Lowe and backed up by the band Clover, whose members would go on to join Huey Lewis and the News.
Really?
And the Doobie Brothers. So
Okay.
let's think about that.
Cool.
The album was not released in the U.S. until a year later, like I said. Also in the summer of '77, his backing band, The Attractions, had been assembled. Bruce Thomas on bass, Pete Thomas on drums, no relation to Bruce, and Steve Neve on keyboards.
Steve Neve. I like that.
As in, you won't believe, Steve Neve. In December '77, he was on Saturday Night Live to sing Less Than Zero. He started the song, then said, "Stop, stop," and launched into Radio, which Lorne Michaels and RCA, who owned NBC at the time, had forbidden him to play because it criticized the commercialization of the airwaves.
Yeah, he got banned.
Until 1989.
When he spoofed the incident again, said, "Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, this isn't the song you're supposed to hear."
Yep. In 1978, this year's model was released. Again, the critical acclaim, but sales, not so much. But other artists began covering this material, most notably Dave Edmunds, who did a better version of Girls Talk than E did, and Linda Ronstadt, who covered everyone.
Yeah. Did she ever do original material?
I don't believe so.
Okay.
Elvis donated royalties received for her version of Allison to the National African Congress after Linda played Sun City in South Africa.
That's nice.
In 1979, Armed Forces came out, and he had a chance for his first top 40 hit with Alva's Army if he changed one word that rhymed with trigger.
We're not going to say it.
He refused. In May of '79, Elvis got into a drunken argument with Stephen Stills and Bonnie Bramlett in an Ohio Holiday Inn bar about music and musicians, and made some very personal remarks about James Brown and Ray Charles.
Oh, shit.
He apologized and turned down a chance to meet Ray out of guilt. Ray forgave him, saying drunk talk wasn't meant to be printed in the paper. In 2013, this incident still followed him when he was making an album with The Roots. Again,
with Questlove.
Again, apologizing.
Uh-oh.
Also in 1979, he produced the Specials' debut album, the greatest ska album ever, if that means anything. It's a great album. It's just phenomenal. Then Get Happy came out, followed by Almost Blue, which was an album of C&W covers and was the first not to be produced by Nick Lowe. Next was Imperial Bedroom. Columbia took out ads saying, "Masterpiece?" Critics thought it was. Jeff Emmerich, who was the Beatles engineer, produced it. No hit singles, though. His next album was Punch the Clock, and Rolling Stone's review infamously started off with, "Well, no one's going to call this a masterpiece." And, of course, he got his first top 40 hit, Every Day I Write the Book, which climbed all the way up to number 36.
I have thoughts on that song.
Goodbye Cruel World came out in 1984. When it was re-released in 1994 on Rykodisc, Elvis started his liner notes by saying, "Congratulations, you've purchased our worst album." Tensions between Bruce Thomas and Elvis resulted in Costello's first split with the Attractions, though they did contribute a bit to King of America, and Elvis was also backed up by members of Elvis Presley's TCB band.
TCB?
Taking Care of Business. Thank you very much. That's what he called it.
Okay.
TCB. Nick Lowe came back to produce Elvis's last album for Columbia, Blood and Chocolate, which resulted in the great, but not a hit, I Want You. And then at this time, Costello also split with the Attractions, but then he hooked up with another band, sort of, which was kind of like the Attractions, minus Bruce Thomas, called the Imposters. He got some other bass player whose name I can't remember. Sorry, other bass player. And they carried on. He signed to Warner Brothers Records in 1989 and released his first album for them, Spike, and got a big top 40 hit with Veronica, co-written with Paul McCartney.
Okay, I think I've heard of that.
And he won an MTV award for Best Male Video. You've probably heard Veronica on when they play the 90s station on Whole Foods.
Okay.
Since then, he's done lots of stuff.
Yep.
Some good, some great, some head scratchers, like he did an album about letters to Juliet Capulet, backed by the Brodsky Quartet.
Hey, don't you abuse my name.
Juliet Capulet.
I know.
Yeah. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame in 2003, and he keeps on keeping on, following his muse wherever she leads. The Rock Snob's Dictionary cites Elvis Costello as one of the unimpeachable torchbearers of rock snobbery for, and I quote, "for knowing more about every snob angle than you ever will." Now, the album Jules picked was the best of Elvis Costello the first 10 years.
And this is the best.
Now, Elvis Costello's Columbia catalog has bounced around a bit. First it was re-released on Rykodisc, then Rhino, and now currently on Hippo Universal. Like it went from a rhino to a hippo.
Yeah.
This collection came out in 2007, and it's an excellent example of how a best of compilation should be done. It's chronological order, you get the lyrics, and you get all the musician and producer credits.
Okay.
But the songs, what about the songs?
All 22 of them, sweet Jesus.
So let's dive into them, shall we?
All right, but first, I'm going to
Spout off.
Why I picked this, and I'm going to ask Dad the question I always ask. Okay, so I had heard of Elvis Costello, and I'm like, oh, there's another musician out there named Elvis? Oh, okay. And then I kind of saw, a little while after that, my mother has a CD of when Tony Bennett did his MTV special, and he did a song with Elvis Costello. And I was like, oh, his voice sounds nice. I thought nothing of it. But then I saw a special. This was when we were at Nana's house. We were watching a special about the New York Public Library, and Elvis Costello came there to do a talk. And they were talking about how he had written a lot of songs that were critical of conservative British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. And I thought, oh, that's interesting. So I knew I wasn't going to get any of that on this album because, you know, this only goes up to the first 10 years and this was later. But I'm like, okay, well, I'll check out the guy. And Dad, I want to ask you, how did you first come across this guy? Because I want to know how you found him, because this doesn't sound like stuff you'd normally listen to, in my opinion, anyway.
Well, you can thank Uncle Mike, because he was a huge Elvis Costello fan. The earlier stuff, anyway. I don't know how far along he went, but he had all his stuff. He just played me these albums, and it took a while, but I thought, yeah, he's got some catchy stuff on here. And then, like, I heard a lot on WBRU, which was college radio, and they played a lot of his stuff.
Rest in peace, WBRU.
And then, you know, listen to his early albums, and then, you know, bought his first Best Of, which came out on Columbia back in, I think it was the 80s, I suppose, a long, long time ago. And then just, always kind of followed him. And I just like his stuff. He can rock out. He gets angry.
He also has a nice sense of fashion now.
Okay.
Wears the fedoras, sharp glasses. He looks cool.
Probably wears the fedoras because he might be getting the horseshoe.
Maybe.
Okay.
All right. I only like 2 songs out of the 22, so bear with me, folks. It's going to be a long ride. All right. The first song I like, The Angels Want to Wear My Red Shoes. As soon as I heard that opening guitar chord, I thought I was sold on this guy. Oh, but how that would change. All right. Now, this is the one song where you can unpack the lyrics pretty easily. First, the red shoes makes me think of the film The Red Shoes, where the girl puts on red ballet slippers and can't stop dancing. Second, it occurred to me you don't hear too many stories about striking bargains with angels. It normally deals with the devil, so it's interesting to look at the other end of the spectrum. Third, this bargain, he gives the shoes for eternal youth, and it kind of reminds me of like the picture of Dorian Gray, but this bargain sounds a lot more lighthearted and not as sinister. Fourth, I like how he's saying to this girl that hurt him, you want nothing to do with me, and yet the angels want my red shoes? How you like me now? The one thing I will say is that, and this is something I notice as we go on, some of the lyrics sound, how shall I put this, pretentious? Ever since you got me punctured, that phrasing there sounds kind of clunky. You know that it hurts me just to say it, kind of sounds like a dick. Maybe Costello is trying to sound different from everyone else, but it doesn't really pay off and the lyrics sound awkward. Incredible opener, though, and one that you can really groove to. And there's not going to be too much nice things to say from here on out.
Oh, that opening line is classic, though. I used to be disgusted, now I try to be amused.
Yeah, I like that.
That's great stuff. I mean, I've seen that on T-shirts, bumper stickers, probably without most people knowing who said it.
We are not amused.
Yeah. And I think the other great line is, I said I'm so happy I could die. She said drop dead, then left with another guy. And how crappy can love get after that? But yeah, he definitely has a lot of wordplay. Definitely, yeah, some of it can. Oh, folks at home, if you could see the look on my daughter's face, yeah, it can go into pretentious territory, but he can rock out to make up for it.
Is this rocking out, Dad?
This is more like new waving out. Which was
I don't like it.
You just don't want to surf the new wave, huh?
No, give me the old wave, man.
That was one of the Stiff Records' early slogans. There was also, if it's a stiff record, it's a good one.
As opposed to what? A floppy record?
I suppose, yeah. But yeah, new wave was kind of like some sort of cross between punk and pop music. It was tuneful, but angry. It was kind of like some sort of gray area. But, yeah, there's going to be lots and lots of clever wordplay. Sometimes a little too clever.
Second song, Allison. I know my mom loves this song, but I find it just okay. Although, this would be a great song for a heartbroken guy to sing at a dive bar drunk off his ass on Valentine's Day. And I don't know why, but for some reason, this song and a lot of the songs on the album, I could see them being sung at the Bronze from Buffy the Vampire Slayer because they had a lot of this kind of music playing on that show. And this song reminds me of one of the classic vines. It's Valentine's Day. This guy is standing in front of a mirror with a red hearts printed suit. And he says, roses are red, violets are blue. Why did you leave me, Karen? What did I do? The people who love Miss Vine will find that hilarious. The lyric that's the best zinger on this song is, but I heard you let that little friend of mine take off your party dress. Uh-oh. And also, the lyric that confused me was, did he leave your fingerprints lying in the wedding cake? Because I don't think that's supposed to be taken literally, but the hell does it mean? I kind of got sick of him repeating my aim is true over and over at the end because it becomes annoying as he hammers in the idea that he's the only one who loves her. It's sweet how he doesn't really blame her or get too angry because he knows she doesn't fit in this world and is struggling to be happy in a world where she doesn't feel welcome.
Yeah, I thought, well, so this guy runs into Allison twice. Once when she's single, but she's let a friend of his have his way with her. And the second time she's in a crap marriage. Yeah. And it's like he's just watching what's happening to her. And the song fades out with him pledging over and over, my aim is true. But I think, too late, guy, too late. You know,
Yeah.
sad song all over. And it's kind of like, well, you see what's happening to her, but you just haven't done anything about it. Why not?
He's lazy.
Either that, or maybe he thinks that it's not going to be any better with him.
Or maybe he thinks that she'll burn out and eventually come back running back to him and like, yes, I do want to be with you. But also, what the hell is with, did you leave your pretty fingers lying in the wedding cake mean?
I have no idea. Maybe like making a mess of things, making a mess of the marriage.
Maybe.
It's a metaphor.
Oh, no.
Yeah, it's going to happen a lot.
I know. All right, watching the detectives. So first of all, that's a hell of an intro with the drums.
Isn't it, though?
It's cool. Other than that, though, I don't know what to make of this song because the lyrics confused the hell out of me. At first, I thought this is about a girl who likes watching detectives in action because they're powerful men or something, but then it just got more and more confusing. I do like the innuendos, though, with the sign that says, we never close, and it only took my little fingers to blow you away. Is the song bad? No, just one big, huh?
Well, I always thought it was like, you know, she'd rather watch detective shows than do anything else.
Oh.
But by the last verse, you realize she's been kidnapped, but kind of oblivious to it because she's still watching the detective shows. Because he's saying, talks about the parents and the daughter's disappearance, and even though it took a miracle to get you to stay, it only take my little fingers to blow you away. So it's like, watch out. But even then, it's like, I'm just watching TV here, guy.
See, this is the problem I have with his songs right off the bat. It's like, you have to explain them to me. Just be more straightforward, guy. Come on.
Yes, that's, on one level, yeah, you really have to put a lot of thought into these, like, what the hell are these about? But on the other hand, I think the music carries them, kind of like saves the day.
Oh,
I mean, because I think it's a great reggae, fake reggae song, got a reggae beat to it anyway.
No, this is bullshit. I want real reggae. All right. I don't want to go to Chelsea.
You don't have to.
No, I know, but what's wrong with Chelsea? I'm sure it's a lovely area of England. The instruments sound awesome, but what the hell is this song about? At most, it might be about a guy who doesn't want to go to a town because he's in love with somebody else, and people are trying to foist girls on him, but that's really all I can make out. Also, why the hell can't Elvis pronounce Chelsea? It's Chelsea, not Chelsea. It feels like he got lazy at the end of the word and didn't even bother to finish the second syllable. It's Leviosa, not Leviosa. Someone please explain!
Well, maybe that's how they say it in England.
I've heard people say Chelsea with they're British, like on the Great British Bake Off. So-and-so is a volunteer firefighter who lives in Chelsea with his wife and son.
Maybe everyone but Elvis is mispronouncing it.
He's just trying to sound different for the sake of being different and edgy and new. Ugh.
Okay, this is Uncle Michael's favorite Elvis Costello song.
Oh, good for you, Uncle Michael.
You'd have to ask him why. I have no idea. I think it's okay. Elvis says it was inspired by trips to Chelsea as a kid with his dad, and that later Chelsea seemed to be like some sort of unattainable neighborhood. But he still doesn't want to go. I mean, from what I read, he didn't have any bad memories about it. But maybe, I don't want to go is a lot more punk rage than, I want to go! Let's all go! Yay!
Or maybe it's a thing where it's like when you grow up, you don't want your childhood memories to be like ruined. Like maybe this place isn't magical as I thought it was.
Yeah, that could be.
Yeah,
that
you just
could,
want
yeah,
the veneer
yeah.
to fray it off.
Yep.
Pump it up. This song is much better than the previous three. He's saying, pump up the sex and pump up the music. It'll make you feel better. The beat's nice and steady, and I like how Elvis doesn't sing full out, but talks at you in time to the music. I've definitely heard this song before because the chorus was instantly recognizable and catchy. Good song, but it's no, the angels want my red shoes.
Well, for me, Pump It Up is just what you think it's about. He can't get this girl, so,
He's gonna
next
masturbate.
best thing. Oh, thanks.
No problem.
So much for the subtlety. Plus, when every time this song comes on, I want to pump up the volume. Although it's more like crank it up or turn it up. I don't think anyone says pump up the volume except in
Maybe
that.
it's over in England.
Except in that song, pump up the volume, pump up the volume. That's the only
I've never heard that
place
song
I've heard
before.
it. I think it's a great song. It's just like so in your face. I mean, just the way it starts off. Doom, 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 doom. I mean, it just does not stop.
How I wished it would.
Oh, come on. That's a great song.
Not this song, the whole album.
Oh, jeez Louise.
All right. Radio, Radio. And my question was, isn't this the song that got him banned from SNL? Yes, it was. Lyrically, it's interesting, but musically not memorable. It makes me wonder if this was him calling out British news radio programs for spouting propaganda, which is rather ironic now considering that the BBC is considered one of the best and most accurate sources of news worldwide. Interesting to think about, but if I want a good song about radio, I'll put on Radio Gaga by Queen. That's a good song.
Wow. Okay. Well, I think it all comes down to the line, radio is in the hands of such a lot of fools trying to anesthetize the way that you feel.
Yeah.
It's true then, and I think it's even truer now. Like a lifetime ago, radio used to be more democratic or inclusive, like mixing up a lot of different styles. Like you could listen to even in the 60s, like AM radio, you'd hear Motown, you'd hear garage rock, you'd hear oldies, just like all on one station. And then in the 70s, formatting came, so you had like all these stations that like segregated the music. You had classic rock station, oldie station,
classical music
soul station,
yep.
college radio. Like everything just all got separated instead of just, there wasn't any more blending, no more surprises, and to me the biggest thing, no more sense of a homegrown community. Like,
okay.
like the DJs would be more
selective,
more personable. Like you could call them up and say, "Hey, how's it going?" kind of thing, and actually have a conversation. Where now it's more like pre-programmed and like
there's some DJs on local radio stations now where we live where you can still find that camaraderie. But that's like the early morning shows. Because, like, I remember the guy used to have the radio on the bus in my high school. And you'd hear, like, the morning DJ hosts talking together and talking to people. So maybe that's something on, like, more mainstream stations or something like that, where you don't have that sense of community anymore.
Yeah. Plus, I think it's also, like, nowadays, I mean, corporations have taken over music more so than ever before. I mean, even though they try to come across with cutesy little names like iHeartRadio.
Sirius XM, especially now with like satellite radio being introduced.
Yeah, I think satellite radio, I don't know if they've brought that sense of community back. I mean, because it's satellite, it's national. But, I mean, even then, like, you have, like, a channel for the 50s, a channel for the 60s, one for yacht rock. Yeah, but I guess the thing is, it's like, maybe, you stick to that one station, you're going to like the stuff, and there's not going to be commercials, so maybe that counts for something.
Yeah.
But, yeah, there's just not the sense of community anymore. Or even challenge, like we're going to play a song by this band, and then we're going to play a song by this completely different musical.
Yeah, and also you don't have as many radio stations that are willing to give new artists a chance anymore.
Yeah, because it's all got to be like, ratings and satisfying the stockholders.
Because if not, you're going to get the plug pulled on you.
Yeah, exactly.
Rest in peace, WBRU.
Who is now a Christian rock station. Go figure.
But now you can listen to WXIN at Rhode Island College, and you still have to be in a vicinity to hear it. But...
Yeah, like as in like standing next to the building.
Okay, accidents will happen. Jeez, this song is so boring. The only lyric I like is, your mouth is made up, but your mind is undone. Because it's true. Sometimes people will say things without really thinking first. Me included. I get that this song is about a girl who screws up with the guy she's with, but it doesn't really go anywhere musically or lyrically. And this is going to sound mean, but my favorite part was the end where he repeats the words, "I know," over and over and over. It's not the worst song in the world, but it isn't memorable, and sometimes it's just as bad.
Oh, I think it's a great song, but, every time I hear, all I can think of is Mo from the Three Stooges uttering this line. Because I wish I could remember the episode and what the situation was, but all of a sudden, I suppose he got smacked or something, and you hear Larry saying, "Oh, sorry, Mo. Oh, that's all right, boys. Accidents will happen." And then, of course, chaos. Lots of smacking and what have you. But I think this song, there's like lots of regrets.
Enunciate. That's the teeth, the tip of the tongue.
Sorry. Yeah, accidents will happen. Like, people are always going to screw up. They're going to do the wrong thing. They're going to say the wrong thing. And, like, at the end, he's just singing, "I know what I've done," and then I know, over and over. And it almost sounds like he's falling into this pit of regret. Like, on the fade out, he's just going further and further down into this pit or this well, and it's just like, you know, just really self-loathing.
Oof.
But tuneful self-loathing.
What would you say were the only two emotions he felt? Revenge and guilt?
Yeah.
This is the guilt.
Yep.
Next song, Oliver's Army. I feel like the song is Elvis making fun of how desperately Great Britain was trying to maintain its status as a world power after they lost India in the late 1940s. And you could tell that the piano is making fun of British music halls. I also like how he seems to be conveying what a lot of young men were feeling, like, I don't want to join the army and do something I'm not proud of. Really thought-provoking song, but why the hell is the N-word in here, and why is it with the word white? I think that's what confuses me the most.
All right, well, the Oliver that he refers to is Oliver Cromwell from, like, a way back when. And he actually...
Is he related to Thomas Cromwell?
I really don't know. It's possible. I don't know.
Okay, anyway.
But he started the song out as a song about the troubles in Ireland, which was, you know, whether Northern Ireland was, you know, going to keep their status as a member of the UK or be forced to reunite with the rest of the land of Ire.
26 plus 6 equals 1.
And with that piano, the keyboards, it's ABBA meets Rage.
I haven't heard Rage, so I'll take your word for it.
No, just...
Oh, like if ABBA was pissed off.
Yeah, this is what they would sound like. And the white N-word reference, I actually had to look this up in the American Heritage Dictionary for the definition. And there's one definition that I think fits, where it says that it's obviously it's a derogatory term, but it can also be directed at people regardless of color who are politically, socially, or economically deprived. They're just looked upon as like being at the bottom of the bottom. So the white N-word is like these soldiers who are just like, this is all they have left, and they're just gonna be killed, and that's it. Oh, it's like countries are just sending what they think is just like the bottom of the barrel of their citizenry. No. That, like, these people are going to die. It really doesn't matter as long as nothing happens to the upper class. Now, believe it or not, this song was referenced in a Spider-Man comic.
What?
Back in the 70s, when Doc Ock hypnotizes Spider-Man and tries to make him sing some classical piece, to which Spidey replies, I don't know that. How about some Elvis Costello? And he launches into the song Oliver's Army.
Wow, what did Elvis say about that?
I have absolutely no idea. Huh. But then Doc Ock said, okay, enough of that. Yeah. He just wanted to make sure that he had hypnotized Spider-Man. Okay. So that pretty much proved it. But yeah, catchy song. It's got that ABBA-esque arrangement to it, and it's putting across something that's just not polite.
Yeah, I mean, you know,
which was intentional.
Yeah, it also makes me think of, like, in Britain, the N-word probably means something different than it does over here. Well, hear me out. It's like, you remember when John wrote that song, Woman is an End of the World?
Yeah.
And how ABC didn't want it to be aired, but Dick Cavett put it on TV anyway and paid the fine. It's like, you know, it means the same thing, but maybe they view it differently than we do over here because we have a different history with that word than Britain does.
It's possible. We'd have to do a lot more research on that.
But apparently there's also, like, that term has also been used for... I remember I was watching this movie in political science where Tony Shalhoub plays this Middle Eastern agent for the FBI. And unfortunately, this movie was released at the same time about 9/11, and it was about a Middle Eastern terrorist attack in New York City. And so what they do is the government basically does internment camps for Arab Americans and people who come from the Middle East. And so he quits, and he looks at Denzel Washington, who's in the movie, and says, tell them I quit. I'm not their sand N-word anymore. Mm-hmm. It's like, oh, I didn't know that was a term for Arab Americans as well. Oh, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Next song. What's so funny about Peace, Love, and Understanding? This is one of the better songs on the album.
That's because Nick Lowe wrote it.
Yeah, and Elvis didn't even write it. And the funny thing is that it seems to be the song that best suits his voice. He sounds powerful, he has a rich tone, and he doesn't sound like he's phoning it at all. In fact, he kind of sounds similar to Elvis Presley singing Suspicious Minds. What makes the song work is the simplicity of its message. Why are you laughing at something everyone should want? Maybe Elvis needs to take a page out of Nick Lowe's book and stop being fancy with the lyrics and trying to make you hunt for clues and Easter eggs. Because that journey isn't even fun. It's just exhausting.
Okay, yeah, it was written by Nick Lowe, who's never recorded it.
Oh, really?
But
he wrote it for other people?
He plays it in concert, and he usually accompanies himself on acoustic guitar.
That's nice.
And, well, the thing I like about Elvis's version is yeah, it's very powerful, his vocal, but I sense it's almost like a rage thing. Like, what's so funny about this? It shouldn't be, it shouldn't be funny. These are big issues.
That's how nonviolent activists feel when, like, they get sneered upon by other activists who are like, oh, come on, how come you don't engage violently? How come you don't throw shit at the police? And it's like, because that doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. Now, when this song was covered by Curtis Stigers on the Bodyguard soundtrack, it earned...
Oh, really? The Bodyguard?
Yeah.
Like Whitney Houston?
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, there were actually other non-Whitney songs on this soundtrack. Well, anyway, it earned Nick Lowe a boatload of money, finally.
Oh, I bet.
Well, it's like, the story is, went to the mailbox one day, finds a 7-figure check. Hey, wow, how about that?
Next song, I Can't Stand Up for Falling Down. Now I can see why Elvis did this song, and it's because the lyric still confused me why I'm not loved the way I should be. Now on its own, that lyric is all about self-love and seeing why you're worth it. But the way he sings it sounds cocky and arrogant. You think this is a guy who is humble and has learned the errors of his ways, but for some reason, after that one lyric, I am not buying it. Next!
This is a Sam and Dave cover.
Okay. Sam and Dave's version I'd probably like more.
Well, theirs is completely different.
Oh.
Their version is a ballad, whereas this version is more Motownish, and you can dance to it. Mm-hmm. And that's kind of why I like this version better. I mean, Sam and Dave, really good. I mean, it's like you get a different perspective the way that they sing it, and then you get Elvis's version, which I was just totally surprised when I finally heard the original, because I'm thinking, Sam and Dave, this is going to be like, dancey, fast, and then I heard it's like a ballad, and I was just stunned.
There's some songs that are really interesting when you take it and you change the style totally. Like, there's this song, It Had to Be You, and I think it might have been Ray Charles who made it a ballad when it was originally written for, like, a big band sound. I mean, the challenging thing when you do a cover, I got this quote from another video I watched on YouTube, is you have to make it your own, and sometimes changing the genre of the song just works, and you find things you never found before.
Mm-hmm.
Next song, High Fidelity. I love the instruments on this track a lot, and the use of piano, and how occasionally the song switches to a minor key. However, this is not my favorite adultery song. I think it's interesting, though, that Elvis is saying, oh wow, you're kissing your boy toy more sincerely. Huh. I wonder if he'll ever know about all the shit you used to get up to. But why does he have to make everything so complicated? Just talk straight, damn it!
Well, it's like, so both members of a couple are cheating on each other, but they naively believe that the pledge that they made to each other when they got married will survive this.
See, universal
maybe not. Who knows? I mean, it's not really a memorable song for me, but it's okay. And I just like the word play about high fidelity. Well,
not really.
Maybe lo-fi instead of hi-fi, or no-fi. That could be a thing.
That's called infidelity.
Oh, thank you. Ooh, I-fi.
I-fi. Oh no! If you had be like Apple, where you have I fidelity and the I has a lowercase. Next song, Clubland. So this song started out interesting enough. Like, I kind of like the idea that there's a swinging place in London that you could go to and cut loose, and the instruments sound nice. I also like the harmonies and the chorus and the word Clubland, with I think it was a girl in the background. But once again, way too much to unpack. I think this time, though, he's addressing the struggles of people trying to find work in England and being denied left and right, so they're going to rise up and protest. Interesting subject, but yawn.
No, I've looked at it as like, it's just about the club scene in general and how, like, that's all that some people have to live for. I mean, there's that killer line about Thursday to Saturday, money's gone already. Like, you got paid and you just pissed away the whole thing at the club.
Well, people
and
like
you've
that
got
exist.
And you've got to struggle to get to, like, the next payday, and you're just going to do it again. And it's this cycle that some people just are not going to break. And then there's that line at the end about, about how work and your hands are not steady. Like like the people are just like drinking so much that they're starting to get the DTs, and
Oh.
they don't have steady hands, and you're
dear.
just spiraling around, and they're just living for clubland and nothing else. Love the song. Love it, love it, love it.
Okay.
Let it be a lesson to you, young one, when you turn 21. Don't get sucked into clubland.
I don't think I'll get sucked into this version of it.
Oh, okay.
All right, new lace sleeves. Okay, let's talk about the instruments. I love the hi-hat at the beginning and the little piano lick, but the guitar riff sounds way too similar to the Eye of the Tiger. I was expecting that dun, 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 and I was like,
Well,
which of
this
these
was
songs
first.
came-
This
okay.
this was
Yeah,
first.
because I was like, which of these songs came first, and was there a lawsuit? I think a better version of this song is Well Respected Man by the Kinks, talking about the shiny veneer the rich gleam with, but how there's nothing below the surface. And I think I figured out the secret to enduring Elvis's songs. Just listen to the music and not the lyrics. You'll be happier. This would also be great music for studying, because this would be music that I would listen to and would actively fight hard against, so I would study and not listen to the song.
Well, I have to admit, I have really no idea what this song's about. But critics fall all over each other praising this song, saying it's one of his best songs ever. I don't know. Maybe critics are out there afraid to admit that.
It sucks.
I don't think I know what a lot of his songs are about, but I'm not going to be the one to admit that by saying, you know, the emperor has no clothes or the clothes have no emperor. I don't know which one it is, but I'm frightened. He's the greatest thing ever.
I want to find that one critic whose review is like, yeah, I don't know what any of this shit means.
I'm sure there probably is. I'm sure there probably is one out there.
Yeah. In which case, good for you, guy. Good for you for being honest. All right.
And I hate to admit it, but even with the title New Lace Sleeves, it's like, I can't remember what the song sounds like. I would have to go back and listen to it.
I don't remember what most of these songs sound like.
Oh, I remember the bulk of them.
All right. Now, the second and last song that I liked, Good Year for the Roses.
Are you kidding me?
What?
Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, shit.
Go ahead.
All right. Okay. I'm nervous now. This is such a beautiful, heartbreaking song. One of the best songs on the album, and again, he didn't write it. The lyric that kills me is when he's talking about the half-drunk cup of coffee, and he says, "At least you thought you wanted it, but that's more I can say for me." Ouch. It's even more sad where all I can say is that it's been a good year for the roses, but even then he can't really appreciate them all that much. Or maybe he does and he's still hopeful that he'll find love. Who knows? What's also heartbreaking is that when he talks about the cry of a baby that goes unheard, it's indicating that he's too broken to care. Elvis's voice really shines here. It's tender and gentle, and this song makes me understand why he sang with Tony Bennett. All right, now why the hell were you so shocked?
Wow. I mean, yeah, it's a country and western cover song from Almost Blue,
It's a Western?
which was an album of all C&W covers, and the first one not to be produced by Nick Lowe. It was originally recorded by George Jones, who sang it with clenched teeth.
Why? Oh, because to make him sound pissed?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't think that's healthy.
His version and this were both produced by Billy Sherrill, who produced a lot of George Jones and Tammy Wynette, and kind of came up with the country music genre known as countrypolitan, which was like he liked to goop up country songs with lots of string and chori, the plural of chorus, or we could go with choruses. Yeah, it's to me, it's just like unsettling to hear that behind Elvis Costello, and
I like it.
I just don't.
I like it for
don't.
you.
Yeah, you like it for me because I just don't like the arrangement. I don't like the strings and the background chorus. It's just too much. Country should not be that orchestrated.
Well, he changed the genre of it.
Yeah, but not for the better. You know?
I
mean, just because
like it.
well, you can like it.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Also, oh, poor Tammy Wynette. Now when I think of her, all I can think of is that book, Red and the Blue, with Steve Kornacki, where Hillary Clinton was saying, "I'm not some Tammy Wynette standing by my man," and Tammy Wynette shot back, "Aren't you, though?"
No. Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Beyond belief. This man's life is falling apart, and boy, does the song fall apart with him. At first, it's not so bad. He talks about how it seems that politics goes through a cycle and nothing changes, which, as a poli-sci major, it's like, okay, I can get that. Then he starts talking about Mars and Geneva, and he loses me. It's like he went from A to Q instead of A to B. And the sad thing was, I was thinking, I was just starting to get what he was talking about before he lost me. Oh well. It's like I was like, the light was right there, and I could reach it and grab it, and then, oh shit, it's a few more feet away. And I'm not tall enough to reach.
Well, come on. This opens the critically acclaimed masterpiece, Imperial Bedroom, produced by Jeff Emmerich, because Elvis felt that Nick Lowe would not have the patience to try out some of Elvis's more expansive ideas. Like Nick Lowe's MO in the studio is, let's just record it, let's get it done, move on to the next one. Just bang them out.
Wait, ma'am, thank you, ma'am.
Well, his nickname was Basher because he just liked to bash out the tunes. let's just get this going to get this done. And even though it opens up the album, to me the song always feels like you've just wandered into middle of something. And it's like he refers to seeing his Alice in the glass, and it's like,
I like that lyric reference.
It's like he's in the bar. So is he seeing the Alice in the bottom of the glass or in the mirror that's behind the bar?
I just always assumed it was the mirror.
And it's like he's like striking out from trying or not trying to pick up his Alice, and he goes home and thinks about like his behavior and how it's just so beyond belief, and it's just more self-loathing.
Well, if you want, like, apparently the inspiration behind Alice is because Lewis Carroll was in love with a little girl. Yeah, so if you think about that when you listen to the song, then it gets a little bit darker.
Well, I think the thing with the Alice thing is about the whole, through the looking glass thing.
Yeah, which I love that. I like that better than Alice in Wonderland, honestly. I find that one, like, really cool with, like, the chess and the red queen and the white queen. I like it a lot.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I like this song. I like how like it just builds. I think it's an interesting arrangement, and I could definitely see why Nick Lowe would not have produced this because to me it seems pretty intricate.
It definitely doesn't sound like any of his previous stuff. That's for sure.
No.
Next song, Man Out of Time. That ending instrumental really woke me up. Like, I was getting bogged down by this album, and I was just staring at the ceiling, and then as soon as I heard it was like, whoosh, sat up, like, upright in my seat, like I was, like, electrocuted. It was intense, and I kind of dug the screaming because it was so different from the rest of the song and the rest of the album. But why couldn't the rest of the song have been like that? I can dream. I feel like so many other songs have covered the same topic so much better. For every song on here, there's a better version somewhere that doesn't take 5 fucking minutes. And then at the end of this song, I wrote in my notes, ugh, I want to die.
Okay, yeah. So it starts and ends, fast and ragey.
I like the fast and ragey. I love fast and ragey.
Which is like a lot of Elvis Costello songs. But he said for this one, he wanted to play it at what he thought was the right tempo. So it's like, I think the reason that it starts and ends that way is because that's what everyone was used to hearing. And in that middle, like when he does the actual song itself, that's the tempo that he wanted it at. And
so why don't you just stick with it all the way through? Because that was what everyone was used to?
I think so. I think he was trying to make a point that, yeah, this is what I'm known for, but this is how I think this song should sound. And we'll get back to ragey and fast in a few minutes. But I'm going to make you sit through this. And the thing for me is maybe the way that this song starts and finishes to show that this song would not have worked as a fast one knocked out in 2 minutes. That for some reason he really wanted to slow this down because he had something obscure to say once again. I mean, for me, like the title Man Out of Time, does it mean that he doesn't have much time left? Or is it more of like, I just wasn't made for these times? And either way, it's more self-loathing as the song finishes.
Revenge and guilt, man. Revenge and guilt.
Mm-hmm.
Almost Blue. I find it hilarious how the inside...
Really?
No. You didn't let me finish my sentence. I find it hilarious how the inside booklet of this CD says, from an original idea by Elvis Costello. Isn't that what writing a song is? An original idea? Jeez! I do like this one, I think. It's Elvis's attempt at the blues. It's stripped down, just drums, bass, and piano, and his voice is very intimate. Even with the echo at the end, his voice is soothing. However, it sounds like he really is blue if he's still hung up on this girl and not almost blue. You can't fool me, Costello. You can't fool me.
Yeah, it's one of those our relationship is over type songs, and I think he does a good job. And for me, that's pretty much it. That's what this is, and I like the arrangement. It's almost like trying to make it like almost like a Sinatra-esque type of standard with the arrangement.
I could see not Sinatra doing this, but somebody in his vein. Maybe this would have been one of the B songs that Dean Martin got.
Almost Blue, hey.
Vegas it up a little bit.
I could actually see Frank doing it more than Dean.
Okay. Next song. Every day I write the book. Ha! Sure you do, Elvis. Sure. God, I want to punch something. That was
The clock. You want to punch the clock because that's the name of the album this came from.
I'm sorry, I had to tune this song out because I didn't want to hear this guy lecturing me on how he's so smart with the worldly wisdom about love. No, you're not. Who knows, maybe this girl will grow to learn more about love over the course of her life. Everyone has growing and learning to do, and we're all on different levels, so shut up, please.
Well, Elvis has referred to this as his Bad Smokey Robinson song.
Yes,
which I can definitely see because the wordplay is too cute. And, him referring it to as a Bad Smokey song, yeah, it's not his best. And of course...
It's not a best of.
And because it's the first one that became a top 40 hit in the United States.
God damn it.
I am Casey Kasem. The countdown continues.
I'm sure that was a real throwback there.
Yeah, it was. There used to be this radio program, American Top 40, Sunday mornings on WPRO-FM from 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. where Casey Kasem, who also did the voice of Shaggy on Scooby-Doo, Robin on the Super Friends, Alexander and Josie and the Pussycats. He did a lot of Saturday morning cartoon voices.
Oh, that's cool.
And then he hosted this radio show. And it was always, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars. I'm Casey Kasem. We'll see you here next week. But yeah, this was his first American Top 40 song. That's why it's on the best of. Not the greatest song, and unfortunately for me, this was the tour that I first saw Elvis Costello perform. If I had done the previous one, the Imperial Bedroom Tour, that would have been great.
Now that's a nice tour name.
Or maybe 2 tours later, when it was the King of America one, that would have been great too. But this one was kind of like, okay, he's got the horns, he's feeling soulful, he's doing the Northern Soul, England type of thing, and yeah.
So how many times have you seen him live?
Once.
And that was enough?
That was it, because I just thought, I don't think I need to see him again, or it was just like, this is the wrong tour. I think I might have missed the right one, like, maybe when he was playing, like, Spring Weekend at Brown University, like when he first came out, that kind of thing, when you see him first come out.
Cool. All right, Shipbuilding. I like the melancholy of this song, and it's so lulling that I was almost sleepy. A nice touch is the sound of gulls towards the end to make the listener feel like they're at the seaside. I like the theme of the song. We could be doing something more, but we have to work and make a living. This song is also very English, because working in shipyards is like a common job, especially in northern England. Considering England is also an island, it makes sense that shipyards bring in the most business for the country. I like when the songs are lulling and simple. However, still not one of my favorites, even though his voice is very soothing in this one.
Okay, this was written about the Falklands War back in '82.
The Thatcher song.
Yeah, well, one of them, yeah. And and I think Reagan wanted to get in on that action too, but I don't think he did.
He did, but we didn't.
Yeah. So it's about how building ships was going to bring back economic prosperity to the shipbuilding areas in England and Ireland. But their sons were also going to be the ones sent off on those ships and probably come back on those ships a little dead.
Now, did Britain win that war?
I hate to admit it, but I'm not sure. They probably did. It was kind of like an undeclared war. I mean, we knew stuff was going on over there in the Falklands, and it was kind of like, yeah, it's a war, but with Britain, it's probably really polite.
I don't think so. Like, I remember that war was very controversial. Like we watched the documentary The Iron Lady, and I remember that the British response they weren't too keen to, have their government declare war in the Falklands. Like, that the opinion was very, very mixed.
Yeah, and I mean, you've got that thing about, diving for dear life when we could be diving for pearls. Yay, we're in the Falklands, and we could be doing something a lot more fun than dying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. And Chet Baker plays the trumpet solo. He's a currently dead jazz...
Currently dead? What, was he dead some other time?
Jazz, drug addict, trumpeter. Good song, but to me the overall arrangement is just weird. I can't describe it any better. It's definitely unique. It's definitely unique.
Next song, Brilliant Mistake. He likes writing about mistakes. Interesting how this song is also one of the only ones where Costello uses his real name for the songwriting credit on the jacket. Also, is this the song where Green Day got the title for their song Boulevard of Broken Dreams? Because that's a song on their American Made album.
So many people have used that phrase. Okay, I mean, that's an old phrase.
Okay. I love the subtle digs to America in this song, especially talking about how we pour Coca-Cola like vintage wine, because that is a distinctly American product, and hey, I'm going to be full American right now. Coca-Cola's good. I like drinking it. Now I'm just thinking of the scene, and we just saw the movie yesterday, where not only do the Beatles not exist in this universe, but Coca-Cola doesn't exist, and it's all Pepsi products. Oh, I'd be miserable. I feel like this song could also be used to talk about the people in British culture that sold out to America and made kind of like a big mistake coming to this country to get famous. Because Brits really hate it when they see their own celebrities sort of defect and kind of lost what made them good in the first place. Like, apparently James Corden is one of those celebrities where, like, he had a good career. He was really famous on this show, Gavin and Stacey. And then when he came to America, like, British people just found him super annoying.
Now we can find him super annoying, too.
Yeah, oh, God. There was this one comedian who was Scottish, and who said the line, "I saw what happened to Robin Williams in the news, and I thought, why can't James Corden get depressed?"
Oh!
I was like, whoa, okay. All right, but anyway, yeah, Brits really hate it when they see their own celebrities defect. And also interesting how, over the course of this album, he's getting more and more mellow and less rock.
He's getting older. It happens.
I just probably wants to chill.
Does it? Dun, dun, dun. Yeah, brilliant mistake for me, you know, comparing Coke to wine shows. How commercial and crass commercial America can be at times. Mm-hmm. But the rest of the world, you love us for that because we're taking on all the crass commercialism, so you don't have to.
Yeah, you love those sofas on Madison Avenue. Hey, Jell-O may not be solid, but it sells.
And I love the line about the woman from ABC News, and that was as much of the alphabet she knew how to use.
Yeah.
Definitely getting some digs in at the media.
What reporter do you think he was calling? Do you think he was calling out a specific reporter with that?
I don't think so. It's just that, you know, the whole ABC thing, as opposed to NBC or CBS. But yeah, definitely digging at the media. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's definitely got a few things going on in this song. Mm-hmm. Once again, I'm confused. But I do like I do like the song, and this was from the King of America album, in which T-Bone Burnett produced it, and he was backed up by Elvis's TCB band.
Next song, Indoor Fireworks. Okay, PSA here. I know this isn't what the song's about, but don't fire your own fireworks. Go to a professional fireworks show because it's much safer, and those people know how to set the fireworks off without getting anyone hurt. Rant over. I feel like this song resonates with my generation more because lots of couples, they tend to put on a big show on social media, posting photos of how happy the two of them are with declarations of love. In private, though, some of those same people can't stand each other and everything's falling apart. It's an okay song about some of the pretenses couples put up in public when sometimes they really just want to scratch each other's eyes out. But it's also beautiful in the simplicity of the acoustic guitar and allowing Costello's voice to take center stage.
Well, to me, this is another "Our Relationship is Over" song. I mean, it's like, yeah, we had the good times and, you know, we made our own indoor fireworks and now we've got the crappy indoor fireworks and they're just shooting off everywhere and, you know, everything's over. And I first heard Nick Lowe's cover.
How was that?
It's really, really good. And I like his a little better. Probably, maybe because I heard it first. And like, I always thought it was about him and his marriage to Carlene Carter. But they didn't amicably divorce until about 4 years later in 1990.
Is he married to Diana Krall now?
No, that's Elvis Costello.
Oh, sorry, you're talking about Nick Lowe.
Yeah, used to be married to Carlene Carter for a heck of a lot longer than I thought, from 79 to 90. And, well, now I think, well, maybe he kind of knew it was going to happen because he admitted, like, he was not at his best, you know, drank a lot and just kind of didn't care about stuff. And I'm not sure. Well, no, I mean, I don't know what Carlene's side was. I know that she had a few problems with drinking as well, but they both ended up getting clean. They both have I don't know if they still share custody. I mean, I think the kid's probably old enough to be an adult now. They both had, you know, one daughter together, and they said it was an amicable divorce. I guess they both knew, yeah, we can't keep doing this.
Yeah, we'll destroy each other.
Yeah, pretty much, I guess.
Oh, God.
But yeah, I like both versions, but like I said, I've heard Nick's more, and I'm just so used to his, and I like it better, and I think he feels it more. I think Nick Lowe feels it a lot more than Elvis does.
Okay. All right, last song. I Want You. My first note. Almost 7 minutes. No!
Of greatness.
And it's so slow. This feels like the guy busking in the subway who you just wish would shut up, but goes on and on and on. This song is the classic, guy loves girl, girl goes for another guy says no one can love you like I can. But why do we have to hear about it for 6 minutes and 43 seconds? Sweet Jesus! The only nice touch is the couple of times where it sounds like Costello's voice is breaking from crying. That's all I really gotta say.
Uh-huh. Well, it's Niccolo back in the producer's chair, and what do we get? We get the greatest, bitterest song about obsession ever for almost 7 minutes. It's like, I want you, and then he does these lines about this and that, and he's just like angrier and angrier, and it's just, ugh, and it's just so bitter, and it's just,
This is bitter? Really? I've heard way more bitter than this.
Oh, this is bitter, my friend. This is bitter. You know,
It's too classy to be bitter.
You talk to Uncle Mike at some time. This is one of his favoriteest Elvis Costello songs ever. And the first time he played it for me, he's like, Kev, you got to hear this. And he played it for me. I was just blown away by it. And it was just, oh man, I can't believe it's already over. I mean, I just thought,
really?
Oh, it's that great. Yeah, yeah. It just does not, to me, it just does not seem like it's 7 minutes. It's just...
This is the point where, like, I mentally checked out. Like, I was talking to my friends on Discord. I was eating a veggie burger. I was just like, I needed other things to do, otherwise my brain was gonna break.
This is Juliet's version. I want you to shut the hell up and finish this song.
Finish this album. All right.
Okay, and that's it. That's all 22 songs. And
Hallelujah.
if you want to dip further into Elvis's catalog, which I'm sure you probably don't,
No.
but I'm going to recommend the debut album, My Aim Is True, which, yeah, it's the one without the attractions. Go figure. But I like it, and yeah, I currently don't have it. I did at one point, and it's probably sacrilege on my part that I don't own any of his individual albums. But do I care? No, I do not. But I think I could probably go back and buy that first album. There's just something about it that I just really like. Maybe it was before he started getting really into the wordplay and being obscure in his meanings and making you work for it. And maybe that's why critics like it, because they have to work for it. They have to earn it. They have to like dig for the meanings, as
Pull
opposed
yourself
to
up by your bootstraps and figure it out yourself.
yeah, as opposed, oh, this must be good because I don't get it, as opposed to like, something that's like more straightforward. And you're like, oh, this can't be good because I know what it means already.
Now,
no.
Why is before I go into like my final thoughts, you said that your opinion on Elvis though is mixed overall. Now,
Yeah,
why
because
is it
it's
mixed if you really like this?
Well, I really like this, the first 10 years. The remaining, let's see, 2019 minus 86 is 33 years of what the hell is this? And like I said in the Rock Snob's dictionary, he's an unimpeachable source of rock snobbery. And it's just like, maybe he does it intentionally, but I think, no, he's just doing whatever it is he does. But it's just always, oh man, you've got to be kidding. You record with the Brodsky Quartet. You record with a mezzo-soprano. You record with Burt Bacharach. You record an album with The Roots. It's like everything is like tastefully done. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I bet no one thought of this. I think I'll do this. I'll be one step ahead. Which, like I said, maybe he's sincere about this, and that's fine. But it just is like, no, pick a style. Just stick with one thing.
It would be hilarious if you love the earlier stuff but hate the later stuff, and I hate the earlier stuff but love the later stuff.
Oh, you probably would, just out of spite. Especially the Juliet Letters album. Which started with some sort of thing where like someone took out an ad in some newspaper in Europe, and people started writing replies to Juliet.
Yeah, there's a film made about that too.
Yeah, so he made a whole album, I guess. I don't know if it was based on the letters, if he took the letters and set them to music, or if it was just, coming up with his own stuff. But yeah, to me, I mean, it just is like definitely Last 33 years, yeah, just pretentious. But it's one of those things that's frustrating because you know he could rock out when he wants to. And he probably has, I'm sure, but I just don't have the patience to filter through all the stuff to
Same.
see which is the throwback stuff to like the first 10 years and which is the stuff we can just skip over.
That makes two of us. All right, so my big issue with Costello is that the guy seems super full of himself. Hear me out.
No, go ahead.
He thinks he's so clever and so much smarter than everyone else, so he makes the lyrics of his songs more complicated than they need to be to show off. But I don't want to show off. I want to connect with the music and feel something. Keep in mind, this is coming from someone who normally loves finding the deeper meaning of songs. But trying to find, in this album, trying to find one is just too much. And he makes you feel kind of stupid.
And that's not rock and roll.
Yeah, and on the rare occasion I understood what he was trying to say, the music didn't even have that universal appeal. He's talking a lot while saying little. Yet the songs that weren't written by him, because I tried to think of something nice to say, the songs that weren't written by him were interesting to listen to with his singing voice and musical arrangements. So in conclusion, Elvis Costello is highly pretentious with his own music, but when he's singing someone else's material, he takes the song and makes something beautiful. So if you come across this album, proceed at your own risk. All right.
Well, the thing is, this also caused me to order another compilation of his from the library called Rock and Roll Music, which is also from the first 10 years, but it's the stuff that I've heard but wasn't famous enough to make the cut to the first 10 years.
You better not play that when I'm on the road with you or I might jump out of the moving car.
Nah, I figure I'd just get it from the library and listen to it and just cherry pick the ones that I like. Because there is, like, he put the compilation together himself, and I think there are about 3 or 4 songs on there that are also on the first 10 years. Which leads me to believe maybe he didn't pick the songs that are on the first 10 years. I don't know. But whoever put that album together, I think they did an excellent job. It's an excellent overview. It's a great intro if you've always been curious about him, and if you've really wanted to listen to songs that make you feel stupid, but you can dance to, then
Yeah. Well,
this is your man.
Now that I've listened to this, as Dad said to me when he saw how devastated I was by the end of it, the man with the glasses isn't gonna hurt me anymore. Oh, and by the way, Dad was telling me people were wondering if he's the next Buddy Holly. No, he is not. Despite his glasses and his guitar.
Well, just because, like, when his first album came out, My Aim Is True, there was him on that album cover. He's got the guitar, he's got the glasses, he's got
Those are cool
the
glasses
jacket,
on him.
and people were wondering, is he some sort of Buddy Holly type of guy? And no,
like
he
hell
wasn't.
he ain't. And on that note, thank you as always for listening to another installment of My Dad Listens to This. If you like this video, then please give us a like. And if you dislike it, too bad, we're still going to be making this stuff anyway. If you want to know when our videos come out, we put them out every other week, so be sure to hit the subscribe button or tap the bell if you want to be notified right away. And if you're friends with me on Facebook, I always post the episodes there. Or if you want them emailed to you, just shoot me an email or shoot Dad an email if you have his email address. Alright, and that about does it. Thank you for listening to my next episode of My Dad Listens to This. And our next album will be a lot shorter. We're going to go from 22 tracks to 9, so see if you can figure it out what it is. Bye, guys.
Bye.
Have a good night.
Thank you for listening.
Thank you.